So should you work in physical therapy school? Well, that's a great question. I love that question. I'm glad you asked. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, it's one heart, one shot. Now the future is yours. Go. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the...
What's up guys, my name is Casey Coleman. I'm a physical therapist and the co-founder of Pre-PT Grind, and on this video we're going to be talking about, can you work in physical therapy school? Can you work in physical therapy school? So the blanket answer in my opinion is of course yes. However, we're going to talk about it a little bit more because for some people it may not be yes for everyone, and we'll go through a few reasons why. But for the majority of people, yes, you definitely can work in physical therapy school. Now, first, let's talk about why you might get the opposite answer as to no. Now, you may get the opposite answer, no, you cannot work in physical therapy school, because the people telling you no may have a certain image of what work looks like while in physical therapy school. So let me make it clear. If you are interested in working like an 8 to 4 strict or 9 to 5 strict scheduled job, or whatever the hours are that are very strict, 20 hours a week, 10, 40, whatever that is, then yes, you may have a little bit of a problem, with clashing of schedules, with going to class or doing online classes if you're in a hybrid program, or getting all your studying in if you have a strict schedule, if you need to be at work from 8 to 4 on these days, or from noon to 5 on these days when you have other stuff for physical therapy school going on. And if they are thinking like that, that's probably why you're getting that answer no, or it's going to be very hard to work in physical therapy school. And that makes total sense. So if that's what you're thinking, then yeah, it's going to be very difficult or almost impossible to work in physical therapy school. Now, if your definition of working and making money in physical therapy school changes a little bit, now is where the answer of yes comes in. Now is where we can get a little bit more creative. Because when I worked in physical therapy school, I worked throughout the whole thing. And I did it by using flexible jobs that worked around my main priority, which was physical therapy school. So if your definition of work is working flexible jobs when you have time that serves you to make you extra money as you need it, then yes, absolutely, you can work in physical therapy school. So for example, I did things that worked around my schedule, like being a golf caddy on the weekends or during breaks where I had time off from physical therapy school, driving Uber and Lyft and ride-sharing services where I could do, as you know, whenever I wanted or whenever you want. I was also playing drums for the choir on campus where I was in physical therapy school, and that was only on weekends, and I could be flexible with the practice schedule as well. So between things like that, also I was helping to run a social media page. I was the publications director for a physical therapy website as well. So all of those worked around my schedule. What else was I doing? Writing blogs. The list goes on and on. But if you notice, every single one of those things I mentioned, I could control or were flexible around my schedule. So if you have anything like those in mind that you want to do as a pre-PT, as a physical therapist even, and going back to a PT student, then yes, absolutely you can work in PT school to serve you, because it's your career, you're paying the money for this physical therapy school, it's your time. So the fact that somebody is telling you, no, you can't make money in physical therapy school while you're paying the school tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars it may just not be the best answer for a lot of people for what they need to hear and for what's best for their situation in physical therapy school, and especially after PT school when you have to start repaying these loans back. So always keep that in mind. If you're a pre-PT listening to this right now, or recently accepted or about to go into PT school, or maybe even a PT student, and you're like, yeah, the loans are so far away, I don't need to pay them back and all that stuff, just know they'll be there just like that. So the pros of working in physical therapy school are going to be to put that and allocate that money that you make to maybe some smart decisions and maybe some more fun decisions to give you joy during physical therapy school. So if you're making money in physical therapy school, you can either pay down your loans or pay off physical therapy school while in school, or stack up a lot of money to pay it off after, or to use that capital, use that money to go travel, or to buy different kinds of food, or to help your family while you're in school, so on and so forth. I just want you to have options. I just want you to have just a little bit more freedom than you would have if you didn't work in physical therapy school, if you do work in physical therapy school. That's all I want. I want you to have options and freedom if you want to work in physical therapy school. And that's what that extra money gives you. So, some things that you can probably think of doing, I'll just put a list here. I'll put a list around there, because if I start rambling stuff off, like, I'm going to miss some. I'm going to miss something. So I'll do my best to put a list of things that you can do, a list of flexible jobs that you may have thought of already, may have not thought of already, so that you can start thinking about what can give me the opportunity to make a little bit of extra cash, whether that's all through school, 24/7 as much as I can, or whether that's, hey, I got an open weekend coming up in 2 weeks. Let me see if I can hustle a little bit. Or I'm taking an online hybrid physical therapy, or I'm in an online hybrid physical therapy school. And hey, I want to make some cash while I have this extra time on my hands where I don't have to commute and classes are structured a certain way. Then look at the list. And even if you're a pre-PT and you're thinking about this, like, I'm a pre-PT, I want to make some extra money too. I want to make some money in physical therapy school as well. What if I start this now? What if I get thinking, like, how big can this get? Or how can I use this to serve me? Oh man, maybe I'm not doomed to have all this debt, or maybe I'm not doomed to only take the max amount of loans, or there's so many options that come into play when you have that power of being able to make money on your side. So this video is more so to empower you and to give you another option as to what you can possibly do while you're a pre-PT and as a PT student, especially for those of you watching. So that's what the video is for. Can you work in physical therapy school? Yes, you can. You absolutely can. Now, should you, or is it the best fit for you based on the jobs you might have seen here, or the side hustles you might have seen here, or what you're already doing, is now a different story. You got to factor in your life things that you have going on, your circumstances, your situations, and your bandwidth, how much energy you have. All of that comes into play. But again, options. I want to empower you to take control over your somewhat financial future right now as much as you can, because it's going to come in handy so much in the future. Because my last point is this, especially this part. If you guys have started to observe physical therapists before, or for those of you in PT school who are going out on clinicals, or you've seen physical therapists around and you've seen that they might not be too happy with their career. For those of you who have experienced that, have you ever thought of why they weren't too happy with their career? Was it just the patients? Was it just the amount of notes they had to do? Was it the paperwork? What was it really? Have you ever asked? And if you have or have not, this might be a reason why. Is because of the finances. Is because of the money. They might not feel appreciated. They might have a lot more debt than they wanted to have. They might not be getting paid enough. Whereas if you start thinking about it now and start doing something, putting something into action, whether big or small, you can stop yourself from being that physical therapist that you don't want to be, to being that unhappy physical therapist in that clinic. I want you to be glad that you chose PT. I want you to be happy that you chose this career, and not treating patients with something in the back of your mind like, man, I shouldn't have done this. Man, I'm not getting paid enough, so this patient shouldn't deserve or doesn't deserve the best care, or whatever that is. I don't want you to be like that. And for those of you who are fortunate enough to not experience that, I don't want you to be that person or experience that either. So that's why this video was important to me, and that's the underlying reason for this video as well. Yes, it's to bring you exposure as to what you can do in physical therapy school and as a pre-PT to make extra money, but it's to empower you, to give you options to work on your future, financial future as a physical therapist, whether that seems very far away for you or not. So I hope this gave you some new perspective, as always with these videos. And if you loved it, like, subscribe, share, tag, all of that good stuff. And we would greatly appreciate if you tell all your friends about us, leave a comment, all that algorithm stuff we'd greatly appreciate. And we will see you on the next video. Go get some money.